Hey guys, Angler's Edge Fishing here, and today we will be crappie fishing. First, we're going to make our own crappie jig. And as you can see, this is a beat up old jig, and I'm going to show you how to refurbish it. So we are going to take our neon orange. It's a great attractant, especially with a bright color. And what you want to do is fluff up your paint, just tap it. I'm going to set that off to the side. You're going to want to heat up your small jigs for about 4 to 6 seconds, and your big jigs like this for 10 to 15 seconds. I recommend using a heat gun, but you can also use a lighter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and dip. Make sure you get all of it. And if you don't get a good dip like that, you can see you got some on the top, which means you got the top hot enough, but not anywhere else. I like to tap my jig over the actual paint so I can get any drippings or any excess paint back into the bucket. So you want to keep heating. Oh, stay out on me. Keep heating. Make sure you get every spot. So now the neck on the jig doesn't matter that much since we're going to be covering it up anyway, but tap, tap, tap. And you got a jig painted there, but it's not glossy like how most jigs are, which means you didn't get it hot enough. So you want to heat it up, make sure you get every angle, and if there's any bubbles or anything, you'll go in for a second dip, which I am going to do. Get it in, make sure it's all switched around, now tap. Gonna heat it back up, make sure you get that glossy finish. And boom, there's your jig. And we're gonna place it into your vise, make sure it's tight. Alright, we're gonna put the lid on our paint. And I like using ProTech, it's just a great brand. They have 2-ounce things. You're gonna use maybe 100 jigs, and this will be gone. Great paint. Usually you want to bake these, but today we will not be. So we are going to take yellow, and our feather. Actually, you know what? We'll go with black. We got green, white, yellow, and black, but I think black's just most aesthetic, especially with this purple feather. And go make sure you get just enough of length to make sure you get that into the slit, just because you don't want it all twisting and everything while you're gone or while you're using it. So you set that down, make sure you get the right, and with our feather you'll see slits in it. And what I like to do is take it and almost measure it with those slits. So we'll go to about there. And you just pull. Obviously, I'm going to be needing some new feather, and our order is going to be coming in soon. So you want to pick off pieces from the feather to get a look like that. It's kind of a weird look, which a lot of nature has. So fish will be like, oh, I haven't seen this before, and especially overfished spots. And 9 times out of 10, they'll want to taste of it. So you see that's a little too thick. Take it and just split it right down the middle. See, that was a bad split, so I'm just going to throw that away. Split, and that's good. Make sure you have your curved edges on the back end, because you don't want flat kind of looking feathers on the back end of your bait. So you take that, and you don't want to wrap this around your hook and not your actual jig. I mean, you can, but I prefer around the hook just because I'm going to be putting my feathers farther back. So I'm going to take that, going to wrap it, and this jig has a really long neck, so you want to make sure you don't hit the hook or the barb, so you fray your line. I don't want to do that. Oh, just hit, oh, again. So you can almost wrap it. Make sure you get good quality jigs, and obviously I'm using an old jig, because I have a lot of these, and I wonder what it'd be like to restore them. So you're going to want to take your scissors and trim your excess. Make sure you trim the right line, because, trust me, it's not fun when you have to tie it back and then have a lump on your jig. So you're going to take your feather, going to pile it all up, pinch it, and get it kind of that desired fray look you want. So once you do that, you're going to find the shortest feather here and clip to that length, because when you're tying your feather, some will fall off if you don't. And now you should see why I like putting it back here. You kind of get a good length and everything. And with this, it'll kind of move around while you're doing it, but since you don't have your glue on there or anything, you can twist it back to where you want it. Again, I don't have a bobbin, so it kind of makes it a little harder, but it's still pretty easy. So now that you got that tied, instead of taking this down here and leaving the neck open, you want to bring that up there. So wrap it, and try to get my line out of there. And you want to leave as little of excess as possible. And that little lump where it goes from hook to lead, you want to make sure you cover that. And you can hold it down or whatever you need to do, but I'll take a couple extra turns from there just to cover it up. And here we go, cover the back, and you take your line here, get it in place at the very back. You want to wrap, and once you have your mill in place, then you want to snip. And make sure your line's out of the way, because you don't want to snip that, but you just want to snip the excess mill. So before we clip the mill down to our length, I'm going to want to take this and anchor it. I'm going to anchor it twice, and if there's any of that excess end of your mill, then if possible, wrap it there. Now you got that done. Clip, and you're still going to need to use your super glue, just because all of that can come undone. But we're not going to do that right now, because we got to go crappie fishing. So now you still got that little bit of that lead. That's why you want to make sure to check both sides and make sure both sides look good. That'll be fine for today since we're not selling this. So you want to trim up your jig, just like you're kind of giving it a haircut. You want to trim it, you don't want that mop top. And when I get to the eye and you get that excess there, I'll actually flip it around and hold it up here so I can get that good trim. Make sure you get all around the head. And see how you have it kind of messy? Just line it up with the head. Make sure you don't cut your feather. I just about did. You want to go around, make sure everything looks nice, especially if you're going to sell these. So usually you'll get yarn kind of like this old one and do it. But I have a whole bunch of this mill. I liked it. I'm a beginner. And there's your jig. So we're gonna take this crappie fishing, and I will be right back. We got all the gear ready, and we'll be in our fishing spot just about now. So we are here. I'm gonna get these rigged up, and we're gonna start fishing. All right, so we got it all rigged up. We're gonna start fishing. So we're gonna go from here on top of the bridge back to the other side, see if we can catch anything. No luck, then we're gonna head back home. All right, so we got it rigged up. We're gonna cast straight underneath this bridge. Water's really clear today, so this neon orange is a great choice. Pop it a couple of times. You can see the jig in the water. It's bobbing up and down. So now a lot of smallmouth like to sit on this edge right here. Oh, I got snagged. Oh, no, didn't. Alright, so they like to sit on the edge just because there's a drop off. And that's where a lot of minnows sit. Yes, we're mainly crappie fishing, but if we do hook onto anything else, that's cool. Cast out over the middle. Oh. On the edge of that ice right there, so you really gotta be careful of it. Pick it up. Yep, just like that. Oh, slid right across the ice. So switch spots. We are going to be digging off the bridge. Almost channels in the canal. As you can see, like right about here, it's kind of shallower, and then it gets deeper there. So a lot of fish will be sitting in those valleys to keep warmth. So drop it straight down. And another good thing is this water has a lot of current. So fish like that, and it's just better for fishing overall. Smallmouth like gobies, stuff like that. Inside fishing.